congratulations on the film.
Hello. Thank you.
So what was the most challenging? Oh, sorry. What does this movie say about the ability to overcome hate?
Well, you could rarely find a character who has created this intense hatred initially, and then genuinely has intense hatred for his enemy, who he has seen in the flesh kill his brothers in arms. He's a man who has constantly been at war, and the story is all about redemption and reconciliation and hope, and the question of how do you stop hating, how do you stop fighting without rendering your loved ones' deaths who've died for that fight, without rendering their deaths meaningless. And it's a horrifically difficult thing to have to grapple with, and he is having to do that. But he's a very intelligent man as well. He recognizes that he is committing and perpetrating a far bigger crime of genocide, even though the individual pain and tragedy of his loss is intense. He recognizes he's the attacker, and Yellowhawk, played by Wes Studi, is the defender. And had he been in Yellowhawk's shoes, he would have behaved exactly the same way. But the intense difficulty of that man, who's incredibly capable of what he does, returning to humanity where he feels utterly useless. And also how dependent he is upon his enemy for his own existence.
You've been a part of some of the most epic films of all time, and in every experience you take something away from it. What did you learn about yourself the most after this film?
I learned, first off, I sweat a lot in a cavalry captain's uniform, and I lose a great deal of weight. But that there was a wonderful saying that Chief Philip, chief of the Northern Cheyenne, who consulted, who taught me the Cheyenne, who would bless us each and every morning, who would have these tough, stunt men and wranglers bawling with tears, and just kind of created this wonderful unity and soulfulness on the set. He said to me one time when we were talking about something very important, and they were knocking on my door, and they were saying, "You've got to be on set, you've got to be on set." And I was saying, "Absolutely, of course, yes, sorry." But it was so fascinating what we were talking about and relevant to the scene that we were about to shoot. And he said to me, sometimes it's very important. It's very important to be on time. And sometimes it's more important to be in time. And that's how I kind of have always lived my life, but I've not been able to articulate it before. And I think it's actually something that sounds very kind of superfluous and very quick, but it's actually a very thoughtful comment, and something that I use daily now.